Mrs. Fantail. "What will mother say?" asked Snugglepot, brushing tears from his eyes. "She won't know," said the nurse. "We have 300 babies in the house." The nurse was a kind person. When Snugglepot has told his story, she patted his back and said, "I will have a sister who works for Blossom Lady near here. They will help you." She pointed the way to Snugglepot, and soon he found the house. It was now early morning, and Blossom was taking her little bath. But when the nurse's sister gave Snugglepop's message, she hastily dressed and came to see him. While they were, a talking bird flew in, and with the news that poor little Miss Gumnut baby was down in the road, and she was weeping and crying out in distress. "That's my brother," cried Snugglepot. Then came the bird. "Get on my back!" And she flew him straight to where poor Mr. Cuddlepie was wandering. When he saw Snugglepot, Cuddlepie ran into his arms and held him so tightly about the neck that Snugglepot was nearly choked. Snugglepot did not like the kissing in public. So he said, "We must thank Mrs. Kind Bird. Fantail is my name," she said. Mrs. Fantail," said Snugglepot. "We can do anything to please you, ma'am." Mrs. Fantail was rather a gadabout, so she said, "Yes, I'd be obliged if you'd step up and mind my eggs for me while I make some calls." Snugglepot and Cuddlepie were glad to be of use. They climbed up upon her nest, and she went off gaily. It was a long time away, and then Snugglepot said, "I think these eggs are getting cold." "Well, we'd better sit on them," said Cuddlepie. "Sit light then," said Snugglepot. "I will," said Cuddlepie. So they both sat on the eggs. The sun was warm, and all the bees around tea trees were singing a lazy tune. Snugglepot and Cuddlepie had been up all night, and they were so very tired, so they fell asleep and sat hard, and all the eggs were broken. When they woke up, they cried aloud, "Oh, whatever shall we do?" A big lizard cried up from below. "What's the matter?" he asked. When they told him, he only smiled. "Why, I can get you some eggs that will do just as well," he said. He disappeared in a flash. Presently he came back with 2 lovely eggs, all warm, so they put them in the nest, and the lizard, having nothing to do, said he would ride them along the way. They chatted as they went along, and soon they became very good friends. By the time they entered a village, they were very surprised to see an editor writing all about them in the newspaper. Gumnut news editors generally write backwards because it takes longer. To read that way, and all the people think that they're getting more news when they write backwards. Why are our portraits there?" said Snugglepot. "Oh, Mr. Lizard," they cried, "please ride us away fast as you can." When Mr. Lizard heard that they were travelling so far to see a human, he said he would like to go with them, and if they liked, he would ride with them all the way, for he had taken a great fancy to Snugglepot and Cuddlepie, and they already loved him, so it was agreed. He went back and to say goodbye to his wife, and promising to return at once. In the meantime, Snugglepot and Cuddlepie bought 2 little second-hand houses from a wayside shop. Gumnuts always carry money in their caps. "So they will be warm to sleep in when the nights are getting cold," said Snugglepot, "so we can rest till Mr. Lizard comes back. That's the way." So they settled in. They both went fast asleep in the middle of the night. There they are. A cat spotted and came sniffing in at their houses. a large family to feed, and he had had no luck that night. Those little grubs would have been in nothing, he thought, and he was about to seize them in his mouth when a terrible noise arose above them. Scream after scream after scream filled the night. Because it is the terrible noise that I'm reading. So there you go. Cuddlepie has an idea. Snugglepot and Cuddlepie sat up, the spotted cat fled, and down the tree slid 2 native bears. They were fighting as they hit each other and they screamed with rage. Snugglepot and Cuddlepie were very scared as the big bears fought over them. There was a huge foot that kicked them over and over, and they rolled down the tree. They're koalas, aren't they? They rolled down the tree to the ground, and then a huge foot kicked them over and over and over onto the ground. They rolled down, and the grass was so soft and so thick where they fell that their little houses were so snug they were not at all hurt, and they were just very, very frightened. But they lay quite still all day till the break of dawn, and then seeing a crowd of knots and blossoms, they crawled out of their camps to ask questions, and everyone was talking about the horrible affair of the evening. Sure they were. And tomorrow we'll hear more about these wonderful native bears. You can see the koala in the corner there. And we'll be back to read Mr. Snake Appears. Thank you, kind listeners. Please subscribe. This is Bluebell. Good night.